Hi, I'm Maite Zamora and I'm a posture alignment specialist. And in this video, I want to talk a bit about what it is that you can expect when you sign up for a session with me. Alright, so the first thing that's going to happen is I'm going to send you a form. It's just got a lot of questions in it, so you can share a bit about the details of your medical history, what you are experiencing in your body, what it is you want help with, so that I can already have a bit of an overview of where you are within yourself even before we start our session. The other thing I'm going to ask you to do is to send in 4 posture pictures. I'm going to give you a PDF outlining what's needed for those pictures, giving you some pointers and parameters. I'm going to give you examples, and then I'm going to ask you to send those in as well before the start of our session. Okay, then a few days before our session, I'm going to send you an email with a link, a Zoom link, because currently all my sessions are done remotely. They're all done online. So no matter where you are, you can do a session with me. So long as you have a good internet connection, if you have a webcam, or you've got your built-in phone camera, and so long as you have enough space to do a snow angel movement on the floor in one area of your house or your apartment, then we're good to go. Okay, so I'm going to send you an email with the Zoom link, and that's the link we're going to use to connect for the session. Okay, then during the session we're going to talk a little bit more about what it is you're experiencing, the things you have already tried, what your goals are, what you're kind of expecting out of a menu, what parts of your body you feel need the most support, what your perspective and your understanding is of the issues you're experiencing, whether you generally experience mobility issues, whether you experience chronic pain in some areas, whether you just want to improve your performance in a particular sport, or you're overall noticing that you need to start exercising, but you're not ready to just fly in there, where you feel like you need to find a gentle way to get yourself started, and to really focus on function instead of what you would look like, or trying to lose weight or anything like that. Really just focusing on getting your body back in shape, So that's the type of discussion we're going to be having. Then I'm going to share with you the assessment of your posture. So with the posture pictures that you would have sent in, I'm going to use that to do a complete posture assessment of your whole body. So I'm going to look at all 4 pictures. There will be a picture of the front of your body, of the side view, the right side, the left side, and the back view. And based on those pictures, I'll be able to tell okay, what's happening with the shoulders? Is one higher than the other? Is there thoracic rotation? What's happening in the hips? What's happening with the pelvis? Is it tilted forward? Is it tilted backwards? Is one tilted forward and the other not? There's a whole lot of different combinations that are possible. And then we're going to look at the legs, we're going to look at the ankles, we're going to look at the head, we're going to look at everything, and we're going to map it out in the ePEAT software that we're using in posture alignment training. Okay, so we're going to discuss all your postural deviations, everything that is not exactly sitting or pointing in the direction that it should be. Okay, then based on that, I'm gonna ask you to do some functional tests. Functional tests are very simple exercises I'll guide you through, and they'll help us just understand a bit better how your posture is the way it is. We'll be able to understand, okay, which parts of the deviations are compensations and which parts of the deviations are actually showing an original dysfunction, right? Because our bodies are very clever. So if we have an issue somewhere where we can't, for instance, put too much weight on our bodies, on our ankle, our body might rotate or might put more weight on one side. It might lift a hip, it might drop a hip. There's many ways in which our body is able to change and adapt to lessen the impact of a dysfunction, so we can keep going, so we can keep going through our days, so we can even keep doing sports, so we can keep performing at the best level we can. Of course, it's not a long-term solution. It's supposed to be a short-term quick fix, to just keep going, but at some point we have to actually start addressing those dysfunctions. And unfortunately, because we don't tend to do that, we tend to actually accumulate a lot of layers of compensation. So it's not just like, okay, this is one dysfunction, this is my one compensation. There will be a host of compensations, and might be a host of dysfunctions as well. So we're gonna have to kind of find out, like, okay, where are we at here? You know, what is actually a dysfunction in the body where your body is simply not able to do this particular motion, and which deviation or misalignment is actually a compensation where that part of your body is actually okay. It's just been trying to compensate for a different part of the body. All right, then based on both the posture and the functional tests, we'll start designing our menu. And our menu is a series of exercises that you're going to be doing on a daily basis. This is important. We have to do it every day. Our bodies are learning all the time. It's not like sometimes they learn and sometimes they don't. It's all the time. So to do an exercise routine or a menu every day is really not that much, because it's only that part of the day where we're really intently going to be impulsing and retraining our bodies to do things differently than they have been doing, sometimes for years, sometimes for decades. So it's important to do it consistently, do it every day, stick with it, so that our bodies can change as quickly as possible and adapt and adjust and align as quickly as possible. So the menu is something we're going to build together, okay? It's not like I'm going to tell you, okay, this is what you have to do it. We're going to go through the menu together, one exercise at a time. I'm going to do the exercises with you on camera, so you don't have to feel weird about, performing some exercises on camera, because I'm going to be right there with you, doing it too. Once in a while we might have to change where the camera is sitting. We might have to move something. We might need to get a pillow to help us do an exercise. It's all good. It's not, I know that the remoteness and doing it online can be a little awkward, and it is sometimes awkward. But I feel and I find that so long as we acknowledge that it is a little awkward, it's actually also okay. There's so far I haven't encountered anything that's really standing in the way of doing very successful sessions remotely. And since that allows me to work with so many more people, I'm going to continue doing that. Okay, let's see what else. Okay, we're gonna walk through the menu together. We'll do each exercise. I'm going to discuss exactly how to do it. I'm going to show you how to do it. And then we're going to also check in now and again to see, okay, how do you feel different now? What have you noticed has changed? How does your body experience this exercise? Because everybody is different, If you find that there's specific exercises that you either for some reason simply do not like, sometimes our bodies just have a particular distaste or resistance towards a particular movement pattern or way of moving, where it's like you don't have the words for it, but something just makes you go, no, please, no. Then we talk about it. Then, because that's the thing with posture alignment. There are so many different exercises that achieve the same outcome. So you don't have to stick with those. So whether it's something you're experiencing and you don't have the words for, you just don't like it, or you're feeling like it's actually hurting you and triggering a particular pain, then we take it out. If this particular exercise is making you feel super uncertain or insecure about whether you're doing it right or not, some exercises are very specific, you have to pay attention to this, and sometimes it can feel overwhelming, and if you have that experience, then we can just take that out, take a more simplistic exercise that achieves the same outcome. All right, so we really want to tailor it to your body, your posture, your compensations and dysfunctions, as well as your whole experience while you do the exercises. Sometimes I'm going to ask you to do an exercise and stick with it for a little while, see how it goes over time. If you feel like the experience you had, where you felt a little off about it, if it stays, then we can change it at a later time. Sometimes just the newness of an exercise can be a little disorientating for our bodies and for ourselves. So sometimes just doing it once or twice allows us to go, okay, it was just like an initial ickiness, but I'm okay with this. But sometimes it gets worse, or it builds up into more of a dislike, and then we can just change it. All right, let's see. Then depending on your situation, we're also going to talk about how often we're going to do sessions. Every 2 weeks is ideal. If we can see each other every 2 weeks, then we've had a nice amount of time of you doing your e-sizes every day. Then we can start looking at the progress you've made. You know, we're going to make new posture pictures, see everything that's changed in your body. And then we're also going to do the functional tests again to see how the functionality has changed. And then from there, we're going to make a new menu. Remember what I talked about earlier about us often having like a whole host of compensations and several layers of compensations. So that's kind of what we experience with posture alignment training. You know, we'll always create an exercise menu based on your posture at a certain time. And that posture will include certain compensations that stand out, you know, that really need addressing. And then we create e-sizes based on that, and then we see how the body responds over 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, usually 2 weeks. Then we take new pictures, and then we see, okay, well, those usually have changed. You know, there's a change, there's a shift, there's a reduction, but then something else might stand out, and that can be a little scary sometimes, because it will seem like, or it might feel like there's suddenly a new problem that's created, right? But you know, it's not like a new problem is created. It's more like as we peel back one layer of compensations, there will be a new layer of compensations that will kind of come more to the forefront, saying, look, I know I wasn't so visible before, but I'm actually an issue and I also need help. Okay, so, and that's how the process will go. So every time we assess again, where are you at? How is your posture? How are you doing in your functional tests? And so each time we adjust the menu, so that we can keep progressing and keep progressing. That's also one of the issues that I've experienced, and I found a lot of people encounter, is that, you know, they understand that they need to do certain exercises to improve their mobility, but they might only go one time, and then they'll do the same set of exercises for a whole year. And in the beginning it might feel like it's really helping, but then after a month, 2 months, 3 months, suddenly it's like it's not helping anymore, or I'm suddenly having all these other pains. Like, what's wrong? Maybe this wasn't the solution after all. And it's not that it wasn't a solution, it's just that, you know, if you consider the exercise as being a form of communication with the body, a form of training, then at some point your body has received the message, you know, and the exercises you had and the menu you received in the beginning has already fulfilled its job, it's done its purpose, your body has already integrated those changes. It needs new inputs, because those weren't the only issues there's more that's needed. So that's why it's important we keep going. It's not a once-off thing, it's a process. Then at the end of the session, we'll have the final menu. I'm going to email that menu to you, so you will receive it in your mailbox. You'll have it there. You'll also receive an email asking you to download the Egoscue Method app. So it's an app that you can download on your phone. And through the app, you'll also be able to access your menus each time. Your most recent menu will always be at the top. You can use it to, you know, guide you through the different e-sizes every day. So you always have the list of e-sizes. It's got the timers with the specific times that you need to do the e-sizes already built in. It's got counters built in if you want to use those. And what's nice is that you have the ability to give feedback for every e-size every day. So as you go through your e-sizes during your week, you can stay in communication with me, and that's a part that I really enjoy as well, so to receive like my daily updates from my clients, you know, as they go through the e-sizes, because they notice, you know, how, oh, yesterday I felt this with that e-size, but today it's feeling different, now I feel this. So it's like you're actually like documenting your own process of change as you go through it, and then you can share it with me, so that if there's anything where I feel like, okay, I would like to just give a little bit of input, or you can, you know, you can also ask questions in the feedback, and I can also just specify, clarify more, so that, you know, you're not alone in it. I'm right there with you. And then in 2 weeks' time, it'll be all easier to just like jump right in, because I will already know everything you've walked. All right, I'll leave it here for this video, and thank you for watching. I hope I will see you soon. Bye.